We started organizing this conference before the shocking statements issued by the US leadership, and we saw an unprecedented and inexcusable moment that can embolden the authoritarianism and will undermine Ukraine's fight for survival. I also would like to mention that very expectedly our media platform was under severe cyber attack this morning. This is not new, and we carried on for the time that we were fighting off the cyber attack. We were functioning through social media, and I believe that we now will have attention of the audience, both international and domestic. However, after all what happened globally, yet this is exactly why we are here today, and I believe that because silence and hesitation are no longer an option for anybody. Well, it has never been, but now it's really a high time to abandon silence and hesitation. And we have to say that every delay, every excuse, every act of cowardice in the face of the Russian terror carries out a very grim cost. It's paid in Ukrainian lives. Russia's war against Ukraine, I have to say, didn't start in 2022. It started in 2014 with the illegal annexation of Crimea and the war in Donbass. For more than a decade now, more precisely 11 years and a few days, Ukraine has been resisting the Kremlin's imperial aggression. And for 3 years, Ukraine has been fighting off a full-scale invasion, a war Putin thought or promised will take 3 days to conduct, at least 3 days to capture Kyiv and another couple of weeks, up to 3 weeks, to capture whole of Ukraine. Well, here we are, 3 years after, we see Ukraine still standing, still fighting, still proving that democracy, freedom, and national dignity cannot be crushed by tanks or terror. But let's be clear, this isn't just war, it's also terrorism, because Russia is deliberately targeting civilian missiles, raining down on homes, schools, hospitals. Drones sent to strike apartment buildings in the middle of the night. Maternity wards were turned into rubble. Children's playgrounds shredded by cluster bombs, and mass graves filled with innocent people who were tortured and executed just for being Ukrainian. And then there's Russia's winter terror. Systematic attacks on energy infrastructure, power stations, heating plants, water supplies, ensuring that if Ukrainians don't die from explosions, they freeze to death in the dark. A medieval siege by modern means, designed not to conquer only, but to erase an entire nation. This is not collateral damage. This is strategy. This is genocide. And yet, Putin is not only waging war in Ukraine, his war extends far beyond the front lines. His weapons include disinformation, propaganda, and hybrid warfare tactics aimed directly at the democratic West and the democratic part of the world in general. He manipulates elections, funds extremist movements, and floods the public space with lies. He buys politicians and weakens institutions. This war doesn't stop at Ukraine's borders or Ukraine's front lines. It reaches Washington, Berlin, Brussels, London, Skopje, Belgrade, and beyond. And how does the West respond? Well, with hesitation, with delays, with statements like, we are deeply concerned, we are worried. Well, appeasement didn't work in the past, it will not work now, it will not work in the future. Every compromise with Putin is a betrayal. It's a betrayal of justice, it's a betrayal of Ukraine, and a betrayal of the very principles that hold the free world together, the principles of humanity. The choice now is simple. Stand with Ukraine until victory, or prepare for a world where dictators redraw borders as they wish, by force, and the democracy in such a world will be nothing more than a memory, just a memory. History has already warned us many times. This time we must listen.